This is Cities in Motion 2, and I have a rather large traffic jam that I need to fix. And there's going to be two things I'm going to do to fix this traffic jam. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a service road. And the service road is going to be built parallel to this, which is actually northbound traffic. It's going to be built alongside of this road. And the service road is going to handle all the on-ramps and the off-ramps. So this westbound traffic and this, which was eastbound traffic, is going to attach to a separate road that will later merge together with the main highway. And it will allow me to do things, for example, to make the main highway a thicker artery, 5 lanes instead of 3 lanes. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to this location where there's another bridge, and it's not far away. I'm going to show you how close they are. This bridge over here is not being used, and this bridge is definitely being used. I'm going to try and route some of the traffic to the bridge on the right. And I'm going to do that traffic routing first. So as you can see, we've got basically a dead standstill here. And I am going to take a 2-lane road, which is an expressway, and I'm going to build it to make this connection. And I want to leave enough room so that I can have southbound traffic as well as northbound traffic, because we do have the possibility that the southbound traffic will also pick up at some point. And we want to preserve as many of these buildings as possible. So I'm going to be very careful to stay to the right of that center line. At some point we do have to diverge, and it's going to have to be here. We're going to lose some buildings. But that's the access road that is going to connect to the other bridge. And this might completely fail. I might have to remove that bridge and put in a highway bridge instead. But we're going to give it a shot, see what happens. I'm going to try to make this turn. Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly what I need. So I've made some progress. I've got this route heading to the north. There should be enough room for the southbound traffic. If not, I will put a single-lane road. I'm probably going to remove that road and this connection, and I'm going to add it in another manner that I haven't determined yet. This traffic is only going northbound, so it's going to connect a little bit differently than a regular road. Okay, so here's going to be the connection. And I'm going to remove this joint over here. I am going to place an off-ramp, if I can. It would be perfect if I could fit it right there. Before I had an access road, which was not used very much, I'm going to re-add it. But it's going to be a little bit different. And this is temporary, so this road is in no way permanent. I might end up removing it in the future. Or maybe I could have it go in the original direction. It looks like I can. So again, this road, I don't think it's going to get a lot of use, but I'm going to put it here just in case. So if anybody needs it, they'll have it. You can see that traffic is already taking advantage of the new route that I made. And I'm going to try to add some on-ramps or off-ramps at any place that makes sense. Probably halfway through. Not sure if I'm going to do it. I might just leave it the way it is. It's just a small bypass road. And I don't think cars need off-ramps or on-ramps from that road. Now the question is, should I add a southbound? One of the other issues is we have to check what's north of the bridge to make sure that it connects to a highway. And it looks like it does. So we've already seen a few cars head that way. But I want to see more cars go that way. These cars right now already have a destination, and they've already decided that they're going to head west to the other northbound traffic. So once a bunch of them clear, you're going to start seeing more cars take the northbound route from the bypass that I just created. This obviously is eastbound traffic here down below, but we don't have congestion getting to the eastbound traffic. We only have it for the westbound. So it doesn't make sense for me to add that parallel road right now. So I'm not going to. I am going to instead work on the service road. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to first show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to run a road that's going to be parallel to the highlighted road. And it's going to handle all the on-ramps and all the off-ramps. You're going to get off once and get back on once. This road will be affected. This on-ramp will be affected. I'll have to move this bridge. This on-ramp will have to be rebuilt. This off-ramp will have to be rebuilt. This off-ramp will have to be rebuilt. This off-ramp will also have to be rebuilt. And at some point in this area, I'll reconnect the service road. One thing that you'll notice is that this route is going to a lower submerged highway. That's actually an express highway. It only makes 1 or 2 stops on each island. So any traffic that goes here is going to go a longer distance and bypass a lot of traffic jams. And you can see the beginning of the submerged highway is right here, and here's the point where it goes under the water. I'm going to highlight the entire on-ramp, which is right there. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. The only problem that we're going to have is going to be this road right here, because right now it's connecting at this junction, but it's going to have to connect a little bit to the right, and it's not going to have a lot of room to make the connection, and I'll be surprised if I can make it. I think if I delete this on-ramp, I should have no problem. Otherwise, I'm going to have to find another way, which will probably be going over the highway. This underpass would have to be removed, and it would have to become an overpass. So the starting location is going to be right over here in the south, and it's going to be 2 lanes, and it will be elevated. It will have to be elevated to 16 meters because it is going over an existing roadway. I'm going to check the height to see if it matches it looks like it might be a little low. So right now it's lower than the existing road. So I'm going to bring it up to 20 meters. We want it to be as close as possible to the original. Actually, it doesn't really matter. So all the roads are going to have to connect to this road. I'm going to have to remove this. And I know that this probably took a long time to set up, so I'm going to hate removing it. But it needs to be done. I'm going to remove this piece here. I'm going to extend this 2-lane road at 16-meter height. Okay. I'm going to remove this connecting joint. I'm going to re-add that spiral. Hopefully it'll work. We have to add a pivot point, and it looks like it did. Give them as much room as I can. So we've got that junction restored, however it's not really connected to anything on the other side, but I will fix that very shortly. So this extension has to go. And this joint will have to go. I'm going to extend my 2-lane service road. I don't know why 16 meters should be plenty, and even 20 should be plenty. I am going to bulldoze this. I hate doing it, but gotta do it. Let's see if I can extend this. Looks like I can't. Don't know the reason why yet. I'm going to remove that. And the key is obviously to remember what I removed, because I have to replace it. Okay, so that's going to be extended as far as I can go, which will be out to there. I am going to remove this, remove another joint over here. I'm going to take a 1-lane road, and I'm going to rebuild this connection. Now we had a loop that was 8 meters high, and it connected from here to here. I'll remove that joint, and that will probably help me make a new connection. I'm going to do 8 meters high to this point, and I'm going to click, and then I'm going to allow it to make its own slope. The problem is it's probably sloped higher. As you can see, it is in fact sloped a little bit higher, which is the reason why I had to do it that way. Now I have to make a loop, and the loop is going to start from around this position. Needs to be at least 8 meters high. Doesn't look like it made it. Let's try again. Going to start at 16 meters. This is down to 12, and that is down to 8. It's going to knock out that building unless I make a sharper turn. So I'm going to rebuild the underpass so it's more of a smoother connection. Should have no problem. I'm going to build it to here again at 8 meters, and then I'm going to connect it to the higher elevation. So I've got a lot of the service road has been completed already. I'm going to remove this road. I'm going to remove this joint. And I'm going to connect now to the service road, which means it will now be able to be used. I might have to do a 1-lane on-ramp, which really doesn't matter. But it definitely needs to be done. And I need to somehow swing this around so that it reconnects. No idea how I'm going to do this. It's got to reconnect for the westbound traffic, and I know, okay, here we go. Make a pivot point, come around, bring it down to 8 meters. It didn't make the connection. I'm going to leave it at that and try another connection. And there we go. So everything that I destroyed has been replaced in terms of the road. However, I need to make one more change, which is where it reconnects. And I want to have access to this off-ramp right here goes to the lower expressway, the submerged underground expressway, and I've got this exit. And the exit's not that important. So I can remove this exit. I'm a little bit more worried about this submerged road because I don't want to remove too much of it. I'm going to build a small extension, a stub. At some point it will definitely work. Just have to figure out where. I'm going to use a different road type. The one-way roads are a little bit more flexible. I had a joint there that I deleted. If I had left it there, I would not have to go through this process right now. Basically, I'm making it so that I don't have to delete and rebuild the entire road. The problem that I'm having right now is probably because it's a sloped road. And when it's a sloped road, you cannot make a connection anywhere along the road. So I'm going to delete that segment. I'm going to remove this segment. I'm going to go back to my expressway, go back to 2 lanes. It's going to be 16 meters high. It's going to connect approximately to here. And then I'm going to restore this underpass. it has to go to -8 meters in order to clear underneath that road. You have to remove this joint because you cannot build close to the joint. Okay, so there it is. There's the connection. I'm going to remove the stub, which is right there. And I'm going to remove the little joint. So that's gone. Now, I think this joint over here cannot be removed. Oh, actually it can. So now there's two things I have to do. I have to reconnect the service road, which will be done like this. It's not the most elegant design, but don't worry about that. I will fix it. And the way to fix it is very simple. I'm going to delete it. Like that, and rebuild it. When I rebuild it, I'm going to put it up to 16 meters again. Doesn't look too happy. Okay, let's try removing this joint. And let's try it again. Not enough space. Okay, I may have to start this process over. Okay, so that's going to be the connection on the other end. I'm going to rebuild that stub, which will be something like this. It's actually better to come from the outside and connect in. It'll find a connection somewhere. Not as easy as it was the first time, but it will happen. I'm going to do the upper stub road, which is going to be from here actually I should do it the reverse way, connecting like this. If I delete this road, it's going to delete a very long road that I don't want to rebuild. So the best thing to do is to solve this issue. Anywhere along here would be fine. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to try a different type of road. Maybe it will be easier. But this road definitely needs to be spliced. If I have to delete the whole thing, I think I'm going to do that. And delete the whole road. I'll be able to rebuild it. Okay, so I need to make this connection which goes from here. No, that's incorrect. From here to here. So there's only 2 more roads left to rebuild. One is the connection to the submerged highway, and the other one is the off-ramp to the surface road. So to get to the submerged highway, we come down here, and then from here we have to connect anywhere along this road. It's going to have to be over here where it starts to flatten out. The connections don't work so well where there's a slope. And we have a lot of space, so we don't have to worry too much about the shape of the road. So I'm going to connect it down to here, and hopefully I'll be able to make a connection between these 2 submerged roads. And try and rebuild it. And it will definitely be easier if I make it a 1-lane road. When you go into the water, you have to bring it down a little deeper to go under the water than you would if you were doing the road elsewhere. So over here it only needs to go 8 meters deep, but when I get into the water area it has to go deeper, and it's very difficult to find that perfect slope. The other thing I can do is start from here and find a road that I can build separate and then reconnect it. Okay. It magically suddenly works. Have to complete this connection. There it is. That was very easy, of course. This doesn't connect right here, but it's actually going to be very easy to do. I should just have to make a connection from here. Oh, okay, I see what the problem is. The problem is that there is another, right here where it connects to, there's another road that is submerged. So I have to go below that, and that is why I was having a problem. So this road is not going to work. So I'm going to start here again. I'm going to go below this road. And now I have to make the final connection. And there it is. I'm going to leave all the joints in for now. Now the only thing that I did not restore is there was an off-ramp that connected from here down to here, and it has now been restored. So now I have a service road that runs parallel to the original. And this service road made all those connections. I'm going to go through all of them. This is the original highway, and we have this off-ramp which connects to this service road, which continues onward and then reconnects at this junction. From this service road we can access the lower level, the submerged highway. We can access the westbound traffic through that on-ramp. The westbound traffic can head north. We have the westbound traffic overpass which continues to go south. This is the eastbound traffic that allows it to go north. And this is traffic that was heading north that is now going eastbound. So all the connections were made, and I have the service road in full operation. I'm going to go check out that other change that I made, see how it's doing. So see that there's a few cars are taking advantage of the new route. You can see that there's a car up here in this intersection. But we don't have the heavy traffic that we had when I started this video. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait and examine it later to see if the heavy traffic returns. And I expect that there's going to be some heavy traffic, but hopefully the changes I made will resolve a lot of the issues. I'm going to use this time to look at some of the other locations, see how other traffic areas are doing. Okay, so here's another traffic jam. This is northbound traffic that is heading east. So the eastbound traffic is backed up. And I'm not sure why, but this road is not able to carry enough traffic for some reason. One way I can fix it is obviously to make this road wider. The other option is to use the service road concept, which first you would look at all the on-ramps and the off-ramps. We have an on-ramp here, and an off-ramp here, and an on-ramp here. So in this case, I don't think the service road is going to make that big of an impact. But it looks like there's a lot of traffic going that way. I'm actually surprised at how much traffic is headed that way. It looks like the traffic jam has lightened up. Definitely a lot of cars headed that way. Never saw that type of traffic before. I'm going to build another highway. It's going to be along the west side, which is going to be over this road right here, and that should send a lot of vehicles north and south. But I don't see any other critical areas. I do have another road that's interesting. I'll have to find it. It is not that one. And it's not that one. Okay, it's somewhere in between. It's not that one. It might be here. No. And I'm going to check this location. No. Okay, here it is. This is a highway that I made, which is actually a one-lane highway. As you can see, there's only one lane going to the west and one lane going to the east, and there's no traffic jam. So it's not necessary to have a lot of lanes. What's more important is that people can get on and off without having to stop. So that is how you build a service road and alleviate some of the traffic. I don't have any other locations that need any service roads, so that's going to be the only one for this video.